to focus on the Franklin Avenue exit. Anyone tampering with barricades, understand this start today through the afternoon, tonight, and into tomorrow. Call 911 for any emergencies only. This is very important. I want to just thank the citizens of New Orleans. You heeded the call and you stayed off of our streets after 8 p.m. last night. We will remain consistent with that message again this evening, asking you to stay off the streets, being prepared to shelter in place. You heeded the call, you did great. And although you may not have seen rainfall as we've been discussing, it is coming our way. So please continue to listen and react accordingly. And we appreciate you so much, I have to say. And it's worth repeating, as you'll hear, I'm sure, throughout this press conference. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to other agencies, as you know, as this is what we do. And I'm going to start with our Director of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, Mr. Colin Arnold, at this time. Colin?
Morning, everybody. Latest update we just saw before coming in here was that Category 1 Hurricane Barry has made landfall near Morgan City, and we obviously, they're in our thoughts. We've been in the situation before. We're still in the situation with Barry. As the mayor said, Barry is slowed. The timeline is being extended out. We went through a lot of winds last night and a little bit of rain, but there is rain coming, and we've all seen what this looks like to the south. There's a lot of rain, a large mass that is going to be moving into our area potentially this evening and overnight. So I would really just reiterate what the mayor said. Please, continue to hold the course and continue to be prepared and take care of yourselves. Text Barry to 888-777 for updates. We can keep you informed. We'll tell you everything that we know when we know it with these alerts. We've had over 65,000 people sign up in 48 hours, which is terrific. And continue with your emergency supplies and follow us on social media at NOLA Ready, and you can find us online at ready.nola.gov. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Colin. Colonel Terry Everett, come on up, Colonel.
Thank you, Mayor. I've just got a couple of comments that are very short. One, again, as you've heard me the last 2 days, I want to thank everybody for the support, not only the media and the cooperation we've had with the media, but the state, federal, and local agencies that allow us as employees of this city to design plans meant to take care of our population and our visitors. You, all of you, have done a great job, because yesterday it was proven and last night it was proven. You heeded our advice, and you are as much a part of this partnership as we are. And so again, we've got about 24 to 36 hours to look, follow your guidance that you're hearing this morning. And again, thank you for your contribution to this great city.
Thank you, Colonel. Calling on Superintendent Sean Ferguson, New Orleans Police Department.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse me. First off, I would like to thank and commend the citizens, the residents, as well as our visitors in New Orleans. Your cooperation did not go unnoticed. We did not have much of any vehicular or pedestrian traffic last night. But as they have said before me, we are asking you to continue to cooperate with us. We have not made our way completely out of the storm's path, and we are expecting high winds as well as some possible rainfall, significant rainfall. So we're asking you to please continue to cooperate with us. The New Orleans Police Department remains fully staffed to assist and protect the public. We have all hands on deck. We are working 12-hour shifts. We have our boats, generators, as well as our high water vehicles stationed across the city in preparation for any events that we may face within the next 24 to 36 hours. We continue to remind our residents, do not drive on the levees, do not drive through flooded water, do not drive in standing water. Continue to be safe. Continue to be smart. Stay in your homes and off the road. As we've seen in the past, many of our streets can quickly become flooded and impassable. Again, we urge you to stay off the roads. Respect all barricaded streets and underpasses, specifically I-610 near Franklin. Just last night, we had the ground level barricades on Franklin near I-610 to be removed by individuals. We're asking you to respect those barricades. They are placed there for a reason. They are placed there for the safety of everyone. So please adhere to those barricaded areas. Next, in case of any emergency or weather conditions that may pick up significantly, just know that we are here to help you, but help us help you. Stay informed through your social media, through your media outlets, and through Ready NOLA. But definitely help us help you, and we will get through this together. Thank you.
Yeah, the men and women of the New Orleans Fire Department are still there. They're fully staffed. They're prepared, and I appreciate their dedication and say thank you to them. As everyone has said here, I'd like to echo thank you to the citizens who have made our job easier by adhering to the warning of stay hunkered down. If what happened this past Wednesday wasn't a stark reminder and a lesson to just how quickly conditions can change, that's what we're talking about here. It's easy for people to look out and say the weather looks good, but you look to our neighbors just to our east, and they're truly getting punished right now with the weather that's coming through. A small shift puts that in our backyard. So please adhere to this warning and be safe. And if this weather does come our way, remember all the warnings that we've been issuing. Be safe with generators, and be safe after the storm when you go out of the hazards that are there, down trees, down power lines. So we ask everyone to continue to cooperate, keep us safe, keep yourself safe, and we thank you for your cooperation to this point.
Thank you, Chief. Dr. Nichols?
Thank you, Mayor. New Orleans EMS is ready, and we recognize that the health of our community requires the involvement of our community. Over the last 24 hours, we have been positively impacted by persons recognizing that 911 is reserved for life-threatening emergencies. I ask that you please continue to do this so that when that critical time arises for you or your loved one, we can get to you in a timely manner. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nichols. Tyrell Morris?
Thank you, Mayor. 911 and 311, the staff at OPCD remain committed and ready. We've been there all night long. We will continue to be there until the community is out of harm's way. As we inch closer and closer to that time, we expect rainfall. We want to reiterate, 911 is for life-threatening emergencies only. To report street flooding, that is an emergency. Please dial 911 to report it so we can advise the citizenry and get responses out there to alleviate the threat. Additionally, 311 is available 24 hours a day. We are asking if you see a energy pole or a power line pole that maybe has not fallen but appears to be moving or appears to may come down, call 311 to report it sooner rather than later so we can bring it to Entergy's attention and they can prevent the fall from happening in the first place. We're here, we're ready, and thank you all, and we're not out of this yet.
Yeah, and Tyrell, just kind of share a bit how we have been communicating with other parishes. We understand, should they get 911, sometimes it's dispatched to us locally, but we're prepared to respond to those and help out our neighbors.
Absolutely. This hurricane is a regional emergency. It's not just New Orleans or Louisiana. And so the 911 system is an infrastructure that crosses from goes from coast to coast. And so when a community is impacted and their 911 system is compromised, the system is designed that call is still answered. That call may come to us here in New Orleans. Here, our trained telecommunicators will provide that help no matter where the call comes in. During Hurricane Harvey, we did receive calls from Houston, so our staff are trained to answer those calls and still provide the emergency dispatch instructions. But again, we've communicated with those areas to pre-coordinate resources, how to get the right resource to them when that call comes.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you, I really appreciate it. Sheriff Marlon Guzman?
Thank you, Mayor. The Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office remains fully staffed. Our visitation center remains closed. Magistrate Court will be held today at 1 p.m., but the good news is there's only one person attending.
Thank you, Sheriff. Sheriff has been providing food service to, I know Park and Parkways are employees, so we appreciate you filling in the gap. Our Director, Gassan Corbin, Sewage and Water Board.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. The Sewage and Water Board remains diligent. We're not letting up. Rain is coming, and we are ready. Not much has changed in terms of status from yesterday, so in interest of brevity, I'm just gonna share the one exception, and that is what we alluded to yesterday. We turned on turbine 6, and we transferred power from Entergy to 6, and we are generating power to service all the drinking water operation related to that. So we did that proactively in interest of not taking a chance of having to manage that shift during managing drainage issues. So we're gonna remain in that status until the storm is over. I'd like to take a moment today just to maybe add another piece of public education and maybe correct some of misperception about what we believe, having been listening to the public, where there's that misperception that after flooded streets are being washed, and then there's that perception that the water is still and then our pumps are not working. Well, I'm here to tell you that our pumps are working, and it takes a long time for the water to recede, and it may appear that it's still and it's not moving, but in fact it is moving. And I apologize for a rudimentary analogy, but just picture your bathtub after having finished a bath, taking a bath, and then removing the plug from the drain. You don't see that swirling immediately. It takes a while to recede, and until it hits that water gets so low and hits the drain when you see that swirling effect. And believe me, you don't want to see the water in the city swirling at 2 or 3 foot level. You want it to recede very slowly, and then you typically see it moving or having that swirl effect when it hits the catch basin. So I'm assuring you that there's no correlation with that appearance of stillness with the pump not working. The pumps are working, but it takes time for the water to recede. Thank you.
Thank you. And a good point, Gassan, is the fact that it's not just about drainage as it relates to the Sewage and Water Board, but it's also access to running water and the ability to flush your toilets. Those things are working as well. Thank you. Okay, Ramsey Green, Deputy CEO of Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a lot of folks working out there right now. Specifically in the last, yesterday, we cleared about 60 tons of debris out of our linear drain lines. That's the sub 36-inch lines. That's a huge amount of work done by the Department of Public Works, getting that huge amount of debris out. That's over 8,400 linear feet of drain lines. We're preparing for street flooding. Big help to both FEMA and the Governor's Office of Homeland Security as we prepare for, in the event that this becomes a reimbursable event as we go through those flood operation preparations. Additionally, the sanitation department is out there looking for debris that is out there. They cleared 20 illegal dumping sites and 7 flood debris sites as a result of Wednesday's flooding. We focused the reaction to those 60 tons that we pulled out in the areas where we saw on Wednesday with water that kind of sat there a little bit longer than we liked. That was areas uptown, close to the river, and additionally adjacent to hospitals, Turo and Baptist Hospital, and our EMS operations center, making sure that our public safety partners can get to where they need to go in the event we have an event of size. And you'll be hearing from our operational side as well on sanitation, et cetera. But we did clear, it's a great stat, 5 48-foot trailers of debris related to Wednesday's floods and other dumping.
And how many illegal dumping spaces we found?
20. And if you dump illegally, the Departments of Safety and Permits and Code Enforcement are out there working to ensure that will be responded to. appropriately.
Thank you, Ramsey.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Alex Wiggins, Regional Transit Authority.
Thank you, Mayor. The employees at the RTA are on standby and ready to begin moving everyone throughout the region and resuming normal transit operations as soon as weather conditions permit. We are coordinating closely with the city and the Emergency Operations Center, and as soon as weather conditions permit, we will resume service. So the best way to stay informed is to call our ride line, 504-248-3900. I'll say that again, 504-248-3900. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alex. Colonel Donnelly, Louisiana National Guard.
Thank you.
Very impressive.
Hey, good morning, everyone. As you well know, the National Guard is in place and ready to respond. We have about 3,800 soldiers and airmen that are on duty. That's about 1/3 of the National Guard. The Guard size is about 11,000 between the Army side and the air side. So we got a significant amount of capability on the ground in place where they need to be with all the resources. So we're ready, and hopefully we don't need them, but we got all the things that we need, and I think we're ready for it. The level of coordination with the city and all the agencies standing behind me has been really great. The communication has gone well. I think we have one common operating picture, and everybody's doing what they need to do to make things happen. So we can be really proud of the city of New Orleans and the mayor and her administration. Things are going great. Thank you. That's
Thank
all
you,
I have.
Colonel. Thank you so much. Okay. Lieutenant Colonel Sears, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
Morning, Mayor. No change to our current operations at the Corps. We are continuing to operate 24 hours a day with 60 very dedicated, brilliant folks to ensure that we're safe for this system. The river crested yesterday at 16.9 feet, falling back down to 16.6 feet, which we're fortunate that the river has been draining out a little faster than anticipated, but we also expect it to come back up to 17.1 feet over the next day or so. But after that, we feel that we'll go back down. There are no threats to the levee system at this time. We're very confident that we won't have any issues. There's no change to the spillway operations at Bonnie Carey. We still have 168 bays open, which is spilling approximately 100,000 cubic feet per second. We do not plan to open any more bays. We're continuing not to approve any waivers for construction within the 1,500 feet of the levee, and our engineers remain on standby for any technical support needed for the local area. Any of your questions?
Thank you so much, Colonel. Okay. We'll go to New Orleans and Company. Christian?
Thank you, Mayor. We know that we have a large population of visitors still with us for this weather event, and for those that are unaccustomed to this type of thing, now is the time to get familiar with and comfortable with your immediate surroundings. When this weather hits, when it begins, this is not the time for you to go out and sightsee or stock up on party supplies. If you have special needs, get to know your hotel host, ask questions, share your needs with them. To our hotel partners, please share those needs with us. And if you're staying in a short-term rental, now's the time to get to know your neighbor. This is not over. In fact, it's going to begin later this afternoon and go through the night. And just if you cooperate and heed these warnings, sign up for NOLA Ready, you're going to have a safe visit to New Orleans and unforgettable stories to tell when you get home. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin Dolio, Louis Armstrong International.
Thank you, Mayor. At this time, the airport is open. There's no issues with airport terminal or airfield infrastructure. As to flight operations, all airline flight departures for today have been canceled. The airlines anticipate resuming operations tomorrow. When and how much will vary carrier to carrier. And also, as you're hearing, we're not out of the woods with the storm. It will be somewhat reliant on the progress of the storm overnight as well. So we do again encourage all passengers to contact the airlines to get good, current, accurate flight status before proceeding to the airport tomorrow. As far as the airport and its operations, again, unless there's severe flooding, other infrastructure damage to the airport or loss of commercial power, the airport will be open and available to the air carriers when they're able to resume normal and safe operations. Our Emergency Operations Center is still fully active, and staffed 24/7, and we're maintaining close coordination with our airlines and other airport tenants. We're ready to respond to any events as they arise.
Thank you so much. We'll hear from Mr. David Ellis, who is with Entergy.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Entergy's crews are in place and ready to respond as it is safe to do so. In fact, our electric and gas crews are fully staffed, and we now have additional resources in order to accelerate the restoration efforts once they are underway. To be certain, our crews are out and actively working today, but as the conditions worsen, it may be necessary to delay some of the restoration work until after the weather has receded. Our employees are embedded in our local and state command offices, where they're capturing, conveying critical outage and preliminary assessment information to the crews. And depending on the storm's impact, the restoration efforts could take several days. So we ask for your patience, we ask for your understanding, and we also ask for your information. Continue to make us aware of the emergencies that are in your areas. We also urge all customers to stay informed and to listen to all your local officials for the latest updates and safety information. Safety information such as avoiding down power lines, very important. Staying out of flooded areas, also very important. And all of that information can be found at EnergyStormCenter.com. Again, that's EnergyStormCenter.com. If you haven't already done so, you should download the free Entergy app at EnergyApp.com and sign up for text alerts by texting REG to 368-374. I'll repeat that. Text REG to 368-374. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. All right, and prior to closure, I need to call up Cynthia Sylvain-Lear with the Department of Sanitation.
Thank you. The Department of Sanitation workers are out in full force doing as much as they can do before the weather changes and makes it unsafe to do so. But very, very important, a reminder that the city has suspended garbage collection outside of the French Quarters and DDD on today for properties eligible for collection by the city. Those are areas serviced by Richards and Metro. In the French Quarters and DDD, morning collections occurred. There will not be evening collections on today or on tomorrow. We do plan to try to do collections tomorrow morning in the French Quarters and DDD, but please stay tuned. What's very important for persons who will not receive any collections today but were scheduled, please do not put your carts on the curb. With heavy rains, even if it doesn't flood and winds, those carts will tip over, garbage will end up in the street and in our catch basins. So please secure carts on your property. Even persons who unfortunately were flooded, we are asking, do not put your debris on the curb. That type of debris will clog catch basins. We cannot pick it up until Monday at the very least. Very, very important that citizens also remember that we have closed the recycling drop-off center today on Elysian Fields, so the next event is not until July 27th. River Birch and Gentilly landfills are closed today and will be closed on tomorrow. We want to remind persons, businesses, and properties with 5 units or more that they are not eligible for collection by the city. Not garbage collection, not bulky waste collection, not debris collection. What is very important is that we generally do pick up garbage from small businesses. But currently, this is not new for the storm, businesses are not eligible for bulky waste collection. And we find that persons are putting things on the curb, they must make private arrangements. So if you're in a property with 5 units or more, if you are a business, if you are a hotel, restaurant, or a bar, or if you have unoccupied properties, they are not eligible for collection by the city. Please make private arrangements for the collection and disposal of that debris. Persons who put loose debris on the curb that are businesses and are not eligible could face visits by safety and permits or code enforcement. We ask all citizens to cooperate with us so we can get through this process as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia. Ms. Ann McDonald, Park and Parkways.
Thank you, Mayor. Since the preliminary impact of this event, Parks and Parkways has responded to 47 various tree emergencies. I thank citizens for staying off the street last night and most of today. It certainly helps our ability to move about the city and address tree emergencies. Continue to call 311 should you see a tree down, a branch down. It works. We get those calls and those notifications immediately. Be specific as you can as possible. Is it a down tree? Is it a down branch? Is there a power line involved? Our partners with Entergy will go out and clear the power line, which makes it safe for us to clear the vegetation. Thank you so much. Stay safe.
Thank you so much. And now I'll call on members of the New Orleans City Council as you wish to come.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you so much for your continued leadership on this particular storm. You know, to quote the Weather Service from earlier today, this is just a really weird storm. It's moving very slowly. In fact, Ben with the Weather Service, he said it's like watching paint dry. But unfortunately, because of that, you know, there's concern that it could be, you know, building as it just sits over the waters. And most of the rain is on that south side, and that's why it's predicted that later tonight we could feel a bigger impact. So I guess my message would be, as you've heard from others, is to just don't let your guard down yet. Who knows what is yet to come, and it could be potentially severe. I also wanted to mention what Deputy CAO Ramsey Green talked about on the illegal dumping, and to remind the public that the City Council recently raised the fines for illegal dumping that impedes our drainage system, and those fines are up to $5,000. So just that reminder as we make sure that the people are doing the right thing out there. Para los que hablan español, nada más quería decirte que esta tormenta que ahora es un huracán es muy rara porque está moviendo muy despacio, o sea que por eso no es tiempo para relajarse. O sea que tienes que todavía estar viendo la tele para ver lo que está pasando con el huracán, porque tal vez la lluvia que es seria, tal vez va a venir esta noche. So, todavía hay una probabilidad que tal vez va a ser un poquito seria. O sea que ten cuidado. Gracias.
Thank you so much. Councilman Brissett, come how you want.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to thank you for your leadership. As you all heard, the greatest risk remains for heavy rainfall and potential flooding. Last night, many residents, I want to thank you all, stayed off the streets. We ask you to do the same tonight. Let us think about all the residents and businesses throughout the state of Louisiana as we all are experiencing this. I want to thank all of the city essential personnel, city employees. It takes a lot to put this plan together. It takes execution and implementation, and that's what you see by local, state, and federal officials. So I ask all the residents, heed all warnings, stay safe, take care of your neighbors, look out for the elderly, and we will get through this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, this has just been an incredible exercise in terms of civic responsibility. It has been amazing to see throughout the entire district the coordination that people have been doing, showing neighbor, helping neighbor, and really listening to the administration and department heads. It's really been a tremendous team effort. This is why we do what we do, and this is why we live in this wonderful city. With that, I also want to say that it's very clear, the message is very clear, the storm is not over yet. We still have to be vigilant. We still